So yesterday marked the anniversary of the official release of the first Nightmare on Elm Street. There was a bit of confusion from my end because I thought initially it was the 7th of November. But upon a quick Google search, that was actually the limited release back in 1984, but the 16th of November was the official release. So saw a lot of posts, and even though this video is going to be coming this week regardless, it actually comes as really good timing. So today I thought I'd do something a bit fun. It's you know, nothing really serious, but also it was a fun exercise for me to do. I wanted to re-edit Tina's death scene from the first Nightmare on Elm Street, utilizing the unused footage of Robert in the room dressed as Freddy dragging Tina around the room. Now, some of you may have seen my deleted scenes video for the first Nightmare on Elm Street a couple of months ago. If not, I will leave the link down below. But what got my interest once again was actually speaking to a friend of mine here on YouTube who goes by the name of Mitch and has the YouTube channel Primetime Mitch. He had me on his channel, and that video will be up in a couple of weeks' time. But we were talking about the deleted scenes, and we were kind of saying, hey, this would be great to see those bits of footage of Robert dragging Tina around the room incorporated into the initial cut that we know and love. Now, there are actually a few people here on YouTube that have done similar things, but I just wanted to have a go myself and kind of put my own spin on it. Now, again, this is not supposed to be taken seriously. This was just a bit of fun for me. So what I'm going to do is show you guys my timeline on iMovie. So I use a mixture of iMovie, CapCut, and DaVinci. For the most part, like for most of the videos on this channel, it's iMovie. It's simple, it works for me. I've used it since day dot with the Cosplay Chris YouTube channel. But you know, there are times where I need to use CapCut and other times I need to use DaVinci. So I'm gonna take you through the timeline, things that I've added, things that I've taken from clip inserts and audio pieces from laser discs and stuff like that. Again, this is totally subjective. Some of you are gonna look at this and be like, dude, that is a piece of shit. And that is totally fair. And when it all comes down to it, nothing can beat Tina's original death scene. It's so damn good. It packs such a horrific punch. And quite frankly, I don't think Amanda Wyss gets enough credit for her performance in that particular scene. But yes, so much footage was shot of Robert in costume as Freddy dragging Amanda Wyss, but also Amanda Wyss's stunt double around the room, because initially they were going to get Amanda to hold the camera and have Robert drag her, but because she wasn't union, she couldn't do that. So they got Amanda Wyss's stunt double to hold the camera and then gave her a quick crash course in how to operate the camera. Robert started dragging her leg, they hit record and off they went. And I really love this footage. I think it's very dark, it's disturbing because just how dimly lit Robert is in that makeup, and it's glistening and he's clenching his teeth and it just looks horrific. There's even unused footage of Amanda being dragged around the room, which I've incorporated into this cut. Now there's a few creative choices that I think are a bit of fun that, you know, some of you may think, it's a bit on the nose, but I had so much to work with. It was actually quite fun and again, a neat little exercise. Now there was also supposedly footage of Robert blowing a kiss goodbye to Tina, and the blood that was congealing on the blades formed a bubble. Now I actually recorded Robert saying this back in 2012 at Shock Horror that was here in Sydney. Check this out.
Boyfriend looking at her. He's really strapped in. And I drop her legs. You don't see Tina, you just see between her legs, like a gynecologist. And I blew her a kiss. And the blood from her legs congealed. It was stage blood on my legs. And when I blew her the kiss, it was a red blood bubble. So, kiss of death, right?
Now, once I've gone through everything on the timeline, I'll show the proper clip in all its glory, or all its glory. Okay, so here's the timeline I'm working with. And again, I know it's iMovie, it's very simple, but you know what? It works for me. So I've got the main base clip here. And something I noticed, the editing with Amanda's screams as she's being spun around. They're just a bunch of sound bites that Amanda Wyss has recorded with ADR, probably post-production, and they sound very janky. I don't know if you guys will pick it up. That part there, they do not flow at all. And that's something that I've always like remembered in the back of my head. But starting from the very beginning, so I have an excerpt here of the original audio tests that the sound engineers were doing with Robert. Now this was on the special edition Laserdisc, and here's an excerpt from that.
Katja, Nightmare. Fred for reverb.
Tina.
Fred Miscellaneous.
No. This is God. One, two, Freddy's coming for you.
So I start this clip off with the laugh test that Robert does, and then 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And then at the end of the clip, I have 9, 10, never sleep again. So kind of, wraps everything up, but I don't have the rest of the nursery rhyme in there. So I have the laugh, the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. This soundbite here is a clip, a sound clip I extracted from the original film of when Nancy's in the boiler room with Freddy and he lifts his sweater up to cut his chest open. There's that nice little soundbite of the glove. Now, I'm pretty sure they got a bunch of copper pipe pieces, rattled them together to get that effect. So it makes sense, the original glove was made out of copper pipe. So I got that, isolated it to remove the background noise, the background score, Charles Bernstein's score, and tried to pop that in, and then overlaid a deleted scene, an alternate take of Amanda Wyss looking down. And as that happens, she looks down and then the chest slash happens. And then everything's pretty hunky-dory. This is exactly, the scene we know and love. And then it cuts to, as Tina starts to get dragged up the wall, we cut to the POV of Robert there. And you can also hear Freddy grunting, which is what I really like. The original scene, you can't see him, but you hear him grunting, trying to drag her up the wall. Cut back to the regular shot. Now, these are 2 laugh tracks, like laugh test tracks that I overlaid over one another. So they are the same laugh, but I tried to blend them together just to stretch the laugh out. Because when we cut to another shot, a deleted shot of Amanda, we then have this beautiful POV shot of Robert as Freddy. This is the shot I love so much because you can see he's grinning, his teeth are so clenched and he's like relishing in this moment. Then we go back here. Now this was pretty tricky because there's this close-up shot here of Amanda on the ceiling, well, on the ground, technically. It was hard to match up the continuity of if you see when she's sort of starting to look back at Rod, then I tried to cut away with her looking back there. And then as she starts to reach out, there you go. The hand starts to reach out and then she reaches out to Rod in the regular cut. Now, this here is the track Confrontation from the Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack by Charles Bernstein. I love this particular track, this particular part of the track. It sounds so gothic, sad, and grim. And even though this scene has no score whatsoever, it's very much like The Dark Knight Rises with Batman versus Bane in the sewer. You don't need any soundtrack whatsoever. You don't need any score because the scene is so impactful. Much like this scene, you do not need music because it's just so disturbing with what's going on up on screen. You don't really have time to care about what music's going on. But I wanted to see how a bit of subtle gothic music sounded as Tina is about to meet her demise. Like, things are getting very serious. So I ease in with the confrontation track. This is where it got very tricky, trying to make everything flow as best as possible. So I'm also using footage of the uncut sequence of the film where Tina's stunt double, Amanda Wyss's stunt double, hits the bed and you see the blood splash up. Now in the theatrical cut, you do not see that. In the extended cut, you see the blood splash up. And I wanted to include that back into this particular cut because it's such a sweet shot, man. It's beautiful. So I have here the clip of the uncut version. Then I had to isolate Rod's when he gets covered in her blood. And then also I had to find another splash sound effect, very similar to the splash sound effect used in the original cut when Tina hits the bed. I then had to put a filter over that to make it sound a bit more muffled like the original splash sound effect does in the film. Now, as she's hit the bed, Rod gets covered. I do another laugh track of Freddy laughing in the evil way. So we then also have Tina's stunt double slumping down. And we then cut to that unused footage of Robert walking towards the camera and then backing away, waving bye-bye. So I thought that was a nice little touch. Like, as Freddy's laughing, as she met her demise, her body's there and Freddy's just like, bye-bye. In a perfect world, I would have loved to have seen a nice close-up shot of Robert coming right up to Tina's face as she's about to pass away and say bye-bye. But anyway, so then this is where I had to separate initially Rod's reaction and then it cutting to Nancy outside of the bedroom and then Glenn runs up and scares her. So I have Robert saying bye-bye and then it cuts to Nancy outside. So I've actually swapped those scenes around. We then cut back to Rod, and then I have 9, 10, Never Sleep Again. But I tried to echo it so it was as if Freddy's still somewhat in the room, even though Rod can't hear him. He doesn't know what's going on. As far as he knows, just his girlfriend's just been slaughtered. But by who? He doesn't know. But you can hear like almost the spirit of Freddy. He's done his job. He's killed his first victim in the dream world. And then he's assessing the damage, and then he goes in to help. And then we cut back to Glenn scaring Nancy, and then they go to barge in and see what's happened. And so with that being said, here's the completed clip in all its glory. Again, guys, this was just a bit of fun. This was a great little exercise. I really enjoyed doing this, getting really creative and getting those sound bites, those bits of audio from the track test from the special edition Laserdisc. So with that being said, drop a comment below and let me know how you would possibly edit this, or other sequences throughout the Elm Street franchise that could use with a bit of a spruce up in terms of deleted scenes or swapping things around, especially at the end with that sequence there, really trying to get that flow going when Tina hits the bed and then Rod realizes what's going on, and also Freddy waving goodbye. It kind of got a bit fiddly, but I really enjoyed it. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.